Greetings everyone, welcome to Chess Advanced, and this is a game from Tata Steel Rapid and Blitz, and this is a game played between Praggnanandhaa and Vincent Keymer. And let me tell you, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched the games, you're in for a treat because this is from the Blitz section and Pragg just literally showed why he's the boss. Pragg just went on a rampage and literally destroyed everyone in his path. He first destroyed Timur Rajabov, then he played a fantastic game against Maxim Moshila-Graf and won the game, and this is round 3, so let's see how he's able to do it. So without further ado, let's start with this game. Pragg is with the white pieces and he starts with e4. We have c6 by Vincent and we have d4, d5 going for that Karakan defense, and we have trade in the center, e captures, c captures going for that exchange variation, and we have this bishop to d3. We have knight to f6, knight to f3, and we have knight to c6, and we have c3 going for that bishop to g4 and just h3, and bishop to h5, and we have bishop to f4 but just e6. And we have knight bd2, just developing those pieces, and you always want to move that queen away, so obviously this will help as a very nice defender. And here we have bishop to d6, but just we see a trade, bishop captures, queen captures, and just castles, and we have rook to e1 and just queen to c7. And here we have a4, but just a6, not allowing further pushing of those pawns, and we have here rook to e3, but just rook a b8. And after queen to f1, definitely Vincent is trying to shift the game to the queen side and getting all his pieces there, because after bishop to g6 was played, we see a trade, bishop captures, pawn captures, and just queen to d3. And after rook fc8, just shifting all those pieces onto the queen side, and definitely he wants to take the battle towards the queen side. And here Pragg could have gone to attack on the queen side, as he has normally most of the pieces. The rook can join the attack. You can play this knight to g5, and that's exactly what Pragg should have done. He should have gone for this knight to g5. And after knight to a5, you play this queen to e2, and after queen to b6, now you'll go for this rook to a2. Just defending that b2 pawn. You have to defend that pawn because the attack is already on the queen side, and if you lose a few pawns, it's definitely going to be very much difficult to hold in the endgame. And here after knight to c3, that knight is way too strong. You have to trade that. So after knight captures, rook captures, now you'll go for this queen to d1, because here you know that queen to a5 is coming and you're going to have to defend with queen to a1, and maybe that would have been a little bit of passive play, but definitely if you have to defend all those pieces coming onto the queen side, you're going to have to go for a line like this. But instead of all of that, Pragg instead chose to go for this knight to b3, and here we have this knight d7, and after knight to g5, just going for that attack, and you know that the rook is definitely going to come and here attack this pawn, maybe a h4, h5, and things are definitely looking amazing for Pragg. And here queen to f4 was played, just trying to defend, just trying to attack that knight, but just we had this rook to g3, defending that knight, and after b5, just expanding on the queen side like as planned. And here we have rook to g4 by Pragg, just attacking that queen, asking Vincent where he's going to put his queen. So queen to f5 was played, but now just queen to g3. Definitely when you're the one attacking, you don't want to trade queens. And here Pragg went for this knight to g6, and here Vincent went for this knight to f6, just attacking that rook, but we have this rook to f4. And now you know that this fork is definitely coming once the queen moves, but Pragg is not afraid to give away the exchange because he's ready for an immense attack. And here queen to c2 was played, but we have this knight to c5, and after knight to h5, here just queen to h4 was played, and you might think like capturing the rook and getting exchange up might be the way to go, but there's something even better in the position. So I would ask you to pause the video and try to find that move. Gives you a winning advantage right from move 25 while I give you a couple of seconds. So congratulations on everyone who's able to find this move, and the move is not capturing the rook as I said, but instead going for that b2 pawn, because you know that you push those pawns all the way on the queen side, so taking away those pawns will definitely be the way to go, because after queen caps on b2, you play this rook to f1, and only after queen caps on c3, now you've lost 2 pawns, and definitely Vincent is going to create a pass pawn and push that pass pawn to victory, and it's going to be very much difficult for Pragg to defend that. And here after rook caps on f7, you'll play this knight caps on d4, and only after knight to d7, now you have this amazing defensive resource, but not moving your rook, but instead going for this knight to f5, just attacking that queen. And here after knight to f5, you're going to have to give back your exchange. So after rook captures, e captures, now you grab the exchange, and after rook captures, you play this a captures, and after a captures, now you go for this knight to f3. But I mean, look at this position. Vincent is up 2 pawns, and definitely those are outside pass pawns. It's going to be very much difficult to hold for Pragg in this position. But Vincent does not find that move. Instead, Vincent went for this knight caps on f4. He went for material, and now it's a completely different story, because here queen caps on f4 was played, and we have f6, just pushing that knight back. But by playing this f6, Vincent weakened his e6 pawn, and Pragg is definitely going to capture that. So here knight caps on e6 was played, and we have this b captures and just knight caps on a4. And hey, queen to f5, asking for a queen trade. You know you're under attack, you have to trade queens, but Pragg just shows why he's Pragg, why he took down Hikaru Nakamura, why he got a silver medal at FIDE World Cup, almost taking down even Magnus Carlsen in the finals, because here he goes for queen to d6. And now you can see that the trouble is definitely near. You can get the queen here, and then there's lots of checkmating threats. So here just g5 was played, trying to defend against all of that. Here we just have this queen to still going for that same checkmate threat, and we have queen to g6 defending, but now just knight to b6. And after queen to f7, asking for a queen trade, and the queen trade only favors Pragg. Here queen captures on f7 was played. After king captures, just knight captures on c8. Just grabbing that exchange, but not capturing that knight, but instead going for this knight. And here king captures, and you might think like that knight is trapped. There's not. And Pragg, with just few seconds on the clock, find this amazing tactic which saves that knight by going for this. Can you spot the move? The move is actually knight to e7. And now if you go for this knight caps on a7, you get this rook caps on e6 for the check, winning that piece back. And here after king to f5 was played, we have rook caps on e7, and after rook caps on b2, we have rook caps on g7, and after rook to c2, we have rook to c7, just defending that pawn. Now Pragg is actually up 2 pawns and in a completely winning endgame, and in just about a few more moves where Pragg is in a completely winning position. But maybe Vincent was hoping for that. Pragg is definitely down on the clock, and both players are down on the clock, so mistakes can still happen, but Pragg does not make any mistakes. And we have king to e4, but just rook to e7 check, and we have king to b3 and rook to e3 check, but just rook to c4, and we have g3 f5, but just this f5 move just completely loses the game, because now you can see that you have that h4 is coming, and that h4 pawn is definitely going to be created, and there's not many ways that you can stop that. So here h4, and here g4 was played, not allowing that trade to happen, but just king to g2. And now after rook to a2 was played, we have this rook to e5, just going for those pawns, and here rook to a5 was played, but rook caps on f5, and after king caps on c3, here just rook to f4 was played. And now you can see that in order to get that pawn, you have to bring the rook all the way, and maybe after the trade only then you'll be able to win that pawn, but the h pawn is just a bit too strong. So it was on this move, on move 46, that Vincent Keymer resigned the game, and Pragg got his 3rd consecutive victory in a row. And spoiler alert for those of you who haven't watched the games, Pragg actually got 5 out of 5 in a row and almost had a completely near perfect day. And if he's going to play in the same way in day 2, there's no one stopping him from winning the tournament. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming up with another amazing game. Just stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Thank you all.